I've wanted to do these videos for a while now, and because of a post made on Facebook today, I actually wanted to go through with making these videos. So I'm going to start with the Sick Doctor, which seems like a weird place to start, but today's Colin Baker's birthday, and of all the Doctors, his gets the most undeserved hate. When he was on TV, they characterised him in a way that would test the loyalty of fans, meaning he was arrogant, predictable, grumpy and melodramatic. His episodes weren't very good, and his costume was awful, and overall he's really badly remembered, often referred to as one of the worst Doctors. Anyway, those of you who've seen my video ranking the Doctors from worst to best know that he's actually one of my favourites. And today I'm going to give you some great stories which will help you see the Sick Doctor for what he truly became in the years after he was fired. This took the form of audio dramas, and now I know you're about to click off the video and ignore my recommendation because it's audio dramas. But I urge you to listen to me here and just hear out what I have to say. If you disregard the audio dramas completely, then you really miss out on some of the best stories Doctor Who has to offer, and it's only because of an issue that doesn't exist. You see, with the visuals removed, the audio dramas basically work as episodes with no visuals, not as audiobooks. I would compare it more to passively watching something while doing another task, and you should really trust the power of the human imagination. It's a great way to kill time on long journeys, on trains or in a car, or on boring days when you just need some background noise. Lastly, I know they come at a price, but the ones I'm going to recommend to get you started, they're either really cheap or free on Spotify. So, I'll get started. Right, I'm going to start off with a few basic recommendations before listing my favourite Sick Doctor stories. Firstly, I need a story which will introduce you really well to the audio dramas and their adapted Sick Doctor. The story I'm going to choose for that is the Marion Conspiracy. This is the first story with Evelyn Smythe, who's played by Maggie Stables, who is an old history professor. It's a brilliant idea for a companion. I wish the new series would do something like it, except Graham, we'll ignore him. An older and wiser and more historically knowledgeable companion helps to kind of question the Doctor's decisions, and overall allows for great chemistry between the two. In the Marion Conspiracy, the Doctor takes Evelyn back to 1555 to ensure that she is born, stopping her from disappearing from history. With these stories, I'm not going to give too much information away because I really want you to experience it the same way I did. But I can't imagine you'll listen to this and not feel like continuing. This is free on Spotify. Some great Sick Doctor stories that are also on Spotify are a couple by Rob Shearman. And Rob Shearman is often referred to as one of the best Doctor Who writers of all time. He wrote the 9th Doctor story Dalek in 2005, and that's often quoted as one of the best episodes of the series. Not a lot of people know that that was adapted from one of his audio stories called Jubilee. The themes are still there, one single Dalek. The Doctor's treatment of the Dalek is called into question by the companion, but I personally believe that it's a lot darker, and in my opinion, it's a lot better than the TV version. So, the Doctor and Evelyn arrive in London in 2003, but everything's wrong. They've landed in an alternate timeline, where England is the most powerful country in the world, and is referred to as the English Empire. They discover that in this timeline they helped to defeat the Daleks 100 years ago in history, and one final Dalek has been kept for the Jubilee celebration. I can't stress enough that if you enjoy a darker and more creepy story, then you'll love this story. Dark stories are really Rob Shearman's style, and another Sick Doctor story he wrote, which is praised a lot by fans, is The Holy Terror. I don't remember this one quite well because it's been a long time since I listened to it, but the premise basically follows the Doctor and companion Frobisher, who's a talking penguin, or a shapeshifter who likes to take the form of a penguin, who ends up being hailed as a god. There's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more evil at work, and it's a lot darker than that. and I don't want to give a lot away, so I'm going to let you go and listen to that because it's a lot of fun, if you choose to. Right, I've got one last recommendation, and this isn't for a way to get into it. This is for when you've listened to a few of these and realised that the Sixth Doctor really deserved a better send-off. And that's The Last Adventure. Now, this is the more market expensive thing that you should only do if you do enjoy the audio dramas. But it gives you 4 hour-long stories, each with a different companion, and it gives a great send-off to the Sixth Doctor. It involves an overarching story with the Valeyard, as well as each story being its own individual thing. I think it makes the Valeyard make a lot more sense, and basically gives a much better reason for regeneration and regeneration scene for the Sixth Doctor. I think it's definitely something people should listen to if they're into the audio dramas. Right, so that's the recommendations done. But let me talk about my favourites, and most of these are also free. I'm going to start by just name dropping a few of my honourable mentions before telling you what my absolute favourite is. So, Jubilee.
Listen to me! The Daleks were genetically engineered to see all other life as a threat. Human beings are different. Humans have a choice. The race I was describing was not the Daleks. What excuse do you have?
The One Doctor.
Right, now this is what I believe is known as hitching a ride. Get them inside, Mel. Eager, in. Doctor, please, you must hurry. The 11th planet has been destroyed. Oh. Good luck, Doctor.
Davros.
Sorry about that, Mr. Baines. Now, when Davros gets here, I think
There's
should...
no I in team, Doctor.
I know how to spell.
Doctor.
Davros was here at 7 this morning, keen to get started. He's already begun work on this positronic network. As you can see, he's made a lot of progress.
Do not blame him, Mr. Baines. My life support system means that unlike the Doctor, I don't need to sleep.
My Time Lord constitution means I don't need much sleep either. An hour a night suffices, and I don't have to come to work a couple of hours early to get up to speed. Well, I can see from here you've configured the alpha matrix all wrong. Set it to 3.7.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
A 3-fold increase in neural activity.
Arrangements for War.
Doctor, what are you doing? Were you just going to leave me back there?
What? I don't... What? They're dead, Evelyn. They're both dead. And it's my fault. Directly my fault.
What are you going to do?
It mustn't happen. Not this time. Change things. I've reset the time coordinates. We'll land where we did before, but an hour earlier. I'll get to the river and send Marcus up to the palace. That way, he can meet the princess without ever having met me.
Medicinal purposes. I'm gonna leave it at that, but I've got my favourite now, and it's a bit of a strange pick. I don't know anyone else who thinks this is their favourite Sixth Doctor story, but it's definitely mine.
Oh no, you are going to sing.
Well, yes.
Doctor Who and the Pirates. And yes, I know this is probably not people's first pick, and it wasn't mine until I re-listened and remembered how much fun I had with it. The Doctor and Evelyn visit a student at the university to tell a story about their recent adventure with pirates. In the first part, Evelyn tells us the story. In the second part, the Doctor kind of corrects her and tells the story himself. In the third part, it becomes a musical. In the fourth part, suddenly we realise what the story is all about. It's one of those ones that leaves you sitting there thinking about what you've just listened to for a minute afterwards, and is really enjoyable. It perfectly shows the best of the Sixth Doctor on audio, and it's free on Spotify. So there you have it, my best of the Sixth Doctor on audio. I'm not stopping there, I'm going to do something about the Eighth Doctor next, and I also want to delve into stuff like the Seventh Doctor's audio adventures, who is my favourite Doctor, and also maybe some of the other box sets like the First Doctor, 10th Doctor, 9th Doctor recently. Who knows? That's it. Thank you for listening.